Welcome back, guys. So now 1 in 3 purchases in the country is cash, and that makes a lot of sellers excited, but it really shouldn't. Let me tell you why. These are not the cash purchasers that we dealt with a year or two ago. There's no more iBuyers, there's no more Open Door. They're still kicking around, but very minimally, and they are getting hosed on every deal I see. These aren't your hedge funds. These aren't your big Tricon or First Key Homes and all these guys buying. These are people who recently sold somewhere or have been holding on to their money, waiting for a good time to hop into the market, which some of them think is right now. So they're not too keen on coming here and overpaying for your already overpriced listing. I mean, even if it's priced properly, they don't want to overpay for it. They're not going to be waiving inspections. They're not going to be waiving appraisals. That stuff is all gone, but pretty much out the window. And now, because mortgage rates are so high, they have even less competition and incentive to do that than they did before. A lot of the big guys who were just throwing cash at anything have left the building. So when sellers hear, oh my God, cash buyers are back, again, I have to reiterate, it's not the cash buyers you think it is. It's somebody who just sold in California or New York. They know specifically here we have a lot of inventory. They want to get a deal, or they're going to use it in a cheaper area like the Carolinas or Georgia to just outbid anybody who's got a mortgage. Mortgage buyers, facing 7 to 8% interest rates are kind of going to the sidelines. And these cash guys, that's assuming if a mortgage buyer makes an offer on your house, that the stars align and they had a good loan officer and they knew going in beforehand and locked their rate and they knew what that rate was going to be. But so many things can throw that out of whack. I mean, you get a new insurance quote, you get a new flood quote, as you guys know, colossally higher than what it was for the existing owner. So it's not even a matter of that there's more cash purchases going on, but just less transactions on a whole. So they are taking up a bigger piece of the pie of total closings. And the people that are coming here with cash are not necessarily looking for resales. You guys have seen this house behind me before. That's our big built up house, 3-car garage. Pretty nice deal. This exact same house is already built in the area. 1,800 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, and they have it listed for $325. So that's extremely competitive. I don't know if that one is going to go for that price. I haven't looked it up, and it's on a corner lot, so a little different. Definitely location specific, but that's the other thing sellers have to realize is it's not just mortgage buyers that can get a better deal from new construction. There was also a Lennar home that just came on the market. Going to be 4 beds, 2 baths, 1,500 square feet with a 2-car garage, priced at $320. And they will also buy you down or probably give you at least a good deal if you're buying cash these days. So that's what you have to contend with here, sellers. Under 300, again, slightly cooling, very, very surprising to me. We have, I think last we checked, 180 single-family homes in the county under $300,000, and they've actually really slowed down too. Could be a result of these new construction offerings. If you're at 280, 299, and you can afford to jump up to 325, 330 for a brand new construction house, you're going to do that. I get that 100%. Investors have slowed down on purchasing starter homes, but they still are purchasing about 25% of all starter home prices in the country. And, it's not hard to see why when the numbers on rent really don't make sense any other way. And unfortunately, the aggressive rent cuts are going along with these aggressive price cuts. But not all markets are the same. For the majority in Florida, the investor activity is down for Q3. I'll go through a quick list here. So Fort Lauderdale investor activity down 19% for Q3. Jacksonville down 48.2% for Q3. Miami, Florida down 14%. Interesting, Miami, 13% of all the listings in Miami on the market right now are owned by investors. So that also tells you, people are looking to get out. Orlando, Florida's investment activity down by 42%, guys. They are seeing a trend here. Tampa, Florida investment activity down 41.3% for Q3. Palm Beach looks like it's faring the best. Their investor activity only down 7.6% for Q3. In fact, overall investor purchases are down year over year 22%. And in the sunbelt where we are, that number is up to 40%. So people are bailing out of investing in Florida and other southern states. It's obvious why when you look at the rents, and some people are still using mortgages to try to take advantage of what's left of the market. 71% of all investment purchases were cash, but almost 30% had some sort of finance. I think you are crazy to come down here and finance an investment property right now unless it is a killer deal. Maybe with seller financing with better rates, I don't know. But watching people come in and buy these single family homes at a premium, buy these condos at a premium, and then turn around and try to rent them for $500, $600 more than the mortgage is per month is turning out to be an absolute catastrophe. That's what's causing most of the price drops. And then they hit their final price where now you know what their mortgage payment is. It's not hard to figure it out. You can look up their deed, reverse engineer the taxes if you're decent at it, and figure out what their mortgage they're carrying is. Generally, that's where their last rent drop stays, and it never moves. So they're just bleeding money at this point. I wouldn't do it. I mean, maybe it works for some people. Like I said, with seller financing, maybe it's a possibility, but it seems really, really risky to me right now. So investors have pretty much pumped the brakes on Florida at this point. At the same time, homeowners are doing the same. People are leaving the state. Even people coming for second homes are reconsidering because the insurance and the taxes are outrageous. We have a brand new community, Westport, being built here, and their houses are around $350,000, $400,000. But the taxes on something like that, after they have a CDD fee included, can run you between $6,000 to $8,000 a year. So just the carrying costs, and never mind the insurance, and then you have your interest rate as well. A lot of obstacles here in Florida. You guys know my area is very high with inventory right now, unseasonably high. I'm actually being told it's unseasonably high all over the country. So a lot of people are looking to offload right now. Here you have a lot of options, maybe not in Tampa and other places. You don't have as many options. So I think that, we're kind of, unfortunately, dead center for this slowdown. It seems us and Charlotte County and Cape Coral are the prime areas right now where things are really getting pushed to a standstill. People will ask me what happened. Why is there such a slowdown here specifically? It's very simple, guys. The jobs don't support the prices. The jobs don't support the rents. We don't even have a nightlife. It's like we don't have the culture here yet, at least, to support a Sarasota asking price. And even Sarasota is seeing slowdown. So yes, it's going to trickle down here. Now with Fed Chairman Powell coming out and saying that he doesn't believe they've done enough to tame inflation, which no kidding, brother. I think we all know that. We're probably going to see some more rate hikes. The big jubilee this week was, interest rates fell like a quarter of a point. So they went from 8 or 7.5 to 7, maybe 7.3. It's not going to do anything, guys. It's not going to do anything. They're parading this out in the news like it's some sort of thing, like it's some sort of victory, celebrate. It's not going to make a difference at this point. Anything over 7, stuff's grinding until prices come down. That's my opinion. That's what I'm seeing here in my area. And I think it's going to continue. And like I said, I'm anticipating another rate hike or two on the table because it's almost got to be done at this point. So watch out who the cash purchasers are, guys. They're not who you think it is anymore. Very different club. Now, and Redfin doesn't think that investors are going to be coming back in this market anytime soon. They say because it's just too hard to make money now. Yes, it is. It is. It's extremely hard to leverage, and it's really hard. I mean, even to get a good cap rate on a rental house right now because the prices are so out of whack from what the rents are in reality. As you guys know, we talk about the rent here all the time, dropping pretty much everywhere in my area, starting to look that way around the country now, spreading to other sectors. I do get people that, write in and say, it's not happening here, it's not happening there. I get that, but overall it is softening. It's going to vary by every market, depending on the desirability of your area. But it's not just not just residential rentals either, guys. I mean, commercial's getting hit by this stuff. You guys know office space is basically worthless now. In Charlotte County, it's always been hard to get commercial tenants for the reasons I mentioned. We don't have the industry here. Retail does okay. Industrial always in high demand, but we just don't have enough of it. But even in the height of the boom, I was doing commercial leases for customers, and we were getting like 7-8 months free rent, and the rent decreased. You know, and this is when we had pretty much been declared, you know, the salvation of the nation, and everyone was flocking here. These plazas have been left empty for so long that they were still willing to deal with us and give us some great options. So, and like I said, not just commercial or residential, even these storage facilities now are really suffering. They built so many of these things here and in Cape Coral, subsequently all over Florida. They built so many in Cape Coral that they banned them. They actually said you can't do this anymore. They're now even seeing huge vacancy rates and competition. When the hurricane hit last year, you couldn't find a storage unit to save your life. These people were charging $280 for 10 by 10s. That used to be like 70 bucks. It was crazy. You couldn't do anything about it. Now they'll tell you that they're packed up, they're jammed up, but there's empty ones everywhere. We just opened 3 in Charlotte County within, I'd say, a 4-mile proximity of each other. And it does not look like they're getting filled up. You know, they're doing all kinds of promotions. You know, why would you do rent promotions if you're packed? Why would you do rent promotions if your units are filled? Even existing customers, they are renegotiating rates and dropping them to keep them in there. That's the reality of the situation, which goes back to the housing supply claim. If we have no housing and no one has anywhere to live, and we're so tight on inventory, which we know is not true, why are these storage units not filled up with people's stuff because they have nowhere else to go? I want to touch on something one of my commenters made too. Winston Smith did mention, you know, people are asking why are they building all of these apartment complexes still? And he made a great point. He's absolutely right. He had said that Ivy Zeldman and another person had mentioned that these were all conceived, you know, 2 or 3 years ago. They had to go out, get the funding, give people the plans, get the permits, acquire the land. So now they're kind of just, they're in it. So you got to finish it out. I wonder what those investor calls and those board meetings look like as you see the rents and the vacancies here just kind of go wild. I would love to be a fly on the wall in that room. Thanks for watching, guys. That's all I got for today. If you like this video, comment below, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.